Okay, welcome back to the Author Speaker Podcast.org. I'm Steve Siebold, your host, and thanks for tuning in. This is actually going to be, I'm excited to announce this is actually going to be our final show of the Author Speaker Podcast. And I appreciate everybody listening to the show, watching the show, both, whatever it is that you, however you consume the podcast. But I'm excited because we're merging podcasts with the Personal Development Podcast. And if you're an author speaker, chances are you're in personal development or some close-fitting topic of personal development. Almost everything's personal development when it comes down to it. When you're a speaker, unless you're talking about something, auto mechanics or something like that. Most of us have a personal development message. I mean, as I've said on the podcast before, I spent really 25 years of my career, the bulk of my career speaking to corporate audiences. But my books and my speeches and all my seminars and all the things I've done over 25 years are completely personal development. Basically, what I've done is what a lot of speakers have done. I've tried to take personal development concepts and then teach corporate salespeople and sales managers about how to integrate personal development concepts and mental toughness specifically into sales, to increase sales and increase market share. And, we increased sales by $1.3 billion collectively over 20, it was actually 23 years. And so it worked really well, but it is in the personal development space, and I guess you could bring it down to personal development if you want to bring it down to its core, change your thinking, change your life, and that's what we all talk about and the derivatives of that concept. And it works. It works really well. And there's roughly 500 million people around the world, according to some different statistics, that believe heavily in personal development. They really do. But, there's another 8 billion people that don't and don't even know what it is and never heard of it before and don't really understand the power of it. And that's why we've recently formed, in the last several weeks, we've formed the International Personal Development Association. And I am really excited about this. In the first month, we have 400 members from around the world, and our goal in the next 3 years is to have 1 million members. And we believe that's completely possible, mostly because of social media. Because you send a personal development quote on, you put it on Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn or somewhere on social media, and bam, the thing goes around the world in 5 seconds. It's just amazing the reach that we have that, of course, we never had even 20 years ago, even 15 years ago, 10 years ago, So we feel like the time is now. And, of course, the reason we even thought of it is because, obviously, the world is on fire. I mean, if personal development has ever been needed in the history, or at least the recent history of the world, say in the last 100 years, it's now. I mean, can it be crazier in the world? I mean, if you're listening in the United States, you know how crazy it is here with everything. But it's like this. We have clients all over the world, and I talk to them all the time. And it's crazy in Europe right now. I mean, it's nuts. Australia is experiencing a lot of craziness. I have a friend that lives in Milan, and he said it's crazy in Italy right now politically. There's all kinds of things going on. There's war in Europe. There's uncertainty. There's all these things that are going on that about. I don't have to regurgitate here. But so with all this happening, we thought now is the time to band this massive army together, this personal development army that's never been put together. Just a bunch of individuals, basically, out there reading books, going to seminars, listening to speeches, watching speeches, everything personal development. But have they really ever been banded together? No, they've never have been. So now is the time. And this podcast that we're merging with is the official podcast of the International Personal Development Association. So you can sign up for the association for free at www.ipdar.org, which is short for International Personal Development Association Revolution. Because we really believe it's a revolution. It's time for that. So ipdar.org. You can sign up for free, and you'll be able to watch and listen to the podcast. You can become a member of the community, interact with personal development people all over the world. Where we did a Zoom call recently. We had 87 members on the Zoom call the other night, and we're a month old. I mean, so it's pretty amazing. So I'm really excited to make this transition. And if you're a if you're again, you're aspiring speaker, author, and even coach, this is a great place for you to expand, because the association is offering world-class training for about half price. Why? Because it's an association. That's what associations do. They provide world-class training at typically half the price, or somewhere at a deep discount. So you're going to be able to get certified at the association. You become a certified personal development professional, and so that gives you credibility all over the world, because it's an international association. So that's really exciting news. We're excited to make this transition, and there's just so much more, because in the association training, and just even in the free part of it, it's so much broader. The things we're going to be able to talk about on the Personal Development Podcast, we're going to have guests on literally from all over the world, and anything that connects to personal development. Again, the spectrum that we're looking at is personal development really begins with the reduction of human suffering. The goal is to reduce human suffering around the world on one end of the spectrum, and on the other end is where mostly personal development is focused, which is success, happiness, fulfillment, all those things, what Abraham Maslow coined as self-actualization, being all you can be, as the U.S. Army says, and whatever you want to call it. And certainly, there's no question about it. All the numbers point to this, that it's been incredibly successful. I mean, people have literally picked up personal development and become wealthy with it, just because they've used these ways to change their thinking. I mean, it's been a fabulous success for over 100 years. And then people, that purveyors of it, like me, speakers, authors, like you probably, coaches, have made a good living being able to teach the concepts. It's a lot of fun because it works, and all those great things. And so now what we're looking at is taking a broader range. So not only can you meet major people in this association, but you're going to be able to get the Personal Development Podcast in there. You're going to be able to join the community, network with people, and then if you want to, you can become a certified personal development professional through the association for about 50% off. And so that's really good. That in the association, it's called an ambassador member. And if you go to the ipdar.org website, you'll see the video. It explains everything. It's very simple. And just really exciting stuff. So let me wrap up the show by just thanking all of you for tuning in for this Author Speaker Podcast. I hope all these things helped, and I know that the Personal Development Podcast is the next step here. This is really going to broaden your horizons on everything personal development, because, again, most speakers, if you're speaking about auto mechanics or something like that, then it may not fit in personal development, but most likely something that you speak and write about is connected to personal development. It usually is. And so, because that's why they hire people to speak, because if you make an audience better, if you give them ideas, if you offer strategies, they get better, and that's why they pay us. So it's typically something that involves personal development. And that's why we're excited for this merger. And it's going to happen immediately, right away. So you can sign up. This podcast is just kicked off last week, the Personal Development Podcast. So go to the ipdar.org website, sign up. Again, it's all free. And if you want to become a personal development professional and get involved, it's $47 a month for the right now, at least for the training vault. And then you can also become certified if that's something that you want to do as a personal development professional. So thanks for listening and watching, and I look forward to having you join us in the personal development revolution in the association. So go to ipdar.org, sign up, and I'll see you over there.